youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
It's 2 hours before the game. It's my birthday this week on Tuesday, so I thought I'd come down to Covent Garden and have my favourite seafood, lobster, crab. And so I decided to, I got down there at 5 o'clock, walked around, went to all the restaurants that I love, all booked out. Sad face. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to moan about it too much because my daughter, she does a homemade ramen with shrimp, with scallops and chicken, pork, everything, beef. She throws it all in and she does it homemade. It takes her 6 hours to make it. So shout out to Layla. She's going to have something special for me on Tuesday. But yeah, so far the night hasn't gone well. I haven't had anything to eat all day, and now it's 6 o'clock. It's 2 hours before kickoff, and I got to make my way to the Emirates. So my sat-nav says I'm 20 minutes away. So I think I'll just go down there and get some oxtail, rice and peas. You know, you can't go wrong with West Indian food. But about the game today, I don't think there's any concerns for me coming off the fact that we have won our first 5 Premier League games of the season. And Newcastle, just a horde of injuries. Callum Wilson has been out for a while, and so has Alexander Isak. But Isak and Joe Willock returned to training yesterday. And so I'm not sure if they're going to start. They may start on the bench. Isak, I'm not sure because they don't have any strikers at all. None of their strikers are fit. So they may take a chance on him and start him from the get-go. But Arsenal, they've got a really good record against Newcastle. Newcastle haven't scored in the last 8 games at the Emirates Stadium. Not even scored a goal. It's fair for Arsenal as well because Arsenal have not scored at the Emirates against Newcastle in 3 of the last 4 games. So there's a lot of things kind of riding on it. But for me, Arsenal, it's a revenge game because of what happened last season with the draw, what happened when we played them away. This season, and we got robbed by VAR. So there's a lot of things riding on this game. We just want to be able to put in a performance just like we did. Newcastle away at the end of last season, that 2-0 win was for me one of Arteta's best in his tenure because everything was right. The setup to nullify them, stop them from playing, the man management changes that he made at half time, which just completely turned the game on its head, and they couldn't get anywhere near us. They couldn't touch us. And so we set up really well against them. They don't really hurt us. Newcastle really struggle to score against us in all aspects of the game. So for me, we just need to go out and express ourselves and just like no pressure because they're going to come in. Newcastle's just going to park the bus. It's going to be low block football. And it's just really about how we're going to express the false 9, all that creativity, that movement, you know, Odegaard, Havertz, Trossard, that movement with them, Martinelli, and Saka coming on the inside and trying to stretch the defence rather than hanging out on an island and being nullified. Saka, mostly, they've got more into the ball game and the offensive passing and creativity. I don't know what they're going to do with Martinelli. Honestly, I wouldn't play Martinelli tonight, but I know they're going to. I'd rather him coming off. I think at this point in time, it's not working with Martinelli, and I'd just go with him as an impact player. Coming off the bench, he does provide you with more zip and more bang. So I would do that. But it'd be interesting to see where he's going to go with the team sheet. I'm still going with a 2-0 Arsenal win. And I know a lot of you guys have been mixing up your score lines. But it'd be good to see what the team sheet is. So when I get to the Emirates, team sheet should be out by then. And I'll touch base with you guys later. Peace out, man. What's going on, guys? Arsenal, Newcastle, team sheet news, which I'm going to leave right here. And so it looks like that I was right about Isak. They're going with Isak up front. Kind of makes sense because, as I said, they don't really have any options at all. So they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel on this one. Karius, I think he hasn't played in 6 years. So he's going to be starting for Newcastle. And he's missed just a lot of time. I mean, they're still injury hit. They still have Almiron, Trippier, and all those guys back. And as I said, Joe Willock is back for them as well. But I think with Arsenal, which is the most important thing, the only change that we've got is Trossard now has been relieved. Havertz moves up top and Jorginho goes in the middle. It's probably the right thing to do because I think when you looked at Trossard's performance the other day, he did drop off slightly. And as I said, those little munchkin legs of his can only take so much. So he needs to rest and get him ready as well for the future games. But I think Havertz has been doing a stellar job helping the team. Will he score today? We don't know. I mean, as I said, we haven't scored in 3 of the last 4 matches against Newcastle here at the Emirates. But Newcastle just cannot score at all here. And that's going to be the biggest concern for Eddie Howe. And I think for him, he's going to do the same old tactics. He's going to sit back and then try and get us on the counter. The problem is he doesn't really have the players to play counter football. Amaran's been cold for a long while now. He hasn't been at that form which he was in the beginning of last season when he was just catching the Premier League by surprise. He's just not been that type of player anymore. And then when you look at the support, they're really scratching the bottom of the barrel for goals. They really don't know where their goals are coming from, and that's why they was forced to play Isak today. Arsenal, goals are coming from everywhere. So we're looking for, again, a surprise to see Martinelli on the team sheet today. He's got to give Arteta gratification for choosing him because he's playing every game, but what we're getting back in return is not the same. So we're looking for a big game for Martinelli today. It would be wonderful if Havertz scores. We know with Newcastle centre-back, they've got some big boys there, but then they've also got, because Pope is out, the reserve goalkeeper's playing. So, and he's not doing too badly, but they are leaking goals. So listen, I'm staying with 2-0 today. Guys, one of the biggest things is Man City won again today, another 1-0 game, and they seem to be scraping by. They're not really hitting form at all in terms of what we've seen from them in the past. And then we saw what happened with Liverpool against Luton. I do want to say big shout out to Sambi Lokonga. Sambi Lokonga was winning that game and running it for Luton. They were 1-0 up at half time, and then when he went off, Liverpool took control of the game. That goes to show you how much of an impact Sambi Lokonga has had with Luton. But overall, guys, this is a game that Arsenal have to win just to keep challenge and keep pace with the top teams. Some weeks we go first and we put the pressure on them. This week, they've gone first and now they're putting the pressure on us. And so we need to step up to the plate. Who's going to be the first to fall out of those 3 teams? Who's going to be the first to slip up? Every week it's almost the same thing. And there's 13 games to go. So really excited to see how Arsenal respond today. So I'll speak to you guys at half time. Right guys, it's Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0. This is exactly what I said the score was going to be anyway when I predicted it. But I mean, it can't be that far from the truth. What's been going on here today has been nothing short of scintillating. Now Arsenal, coming off that Porto loss, we know what happened. If you go for a draw, you always risk the fact that you're going to not get nothing from the game. But today, it's just been sublime. It's probably one of the best parts of the first half football that we've seen this season. The ball movement has been superb. As good as any team has played this season. The movement is so fast, Newcastle just can't keep up with it. They just cannot keep up with it. It's moving so fast, and it's them guys at the top here. Jorginho dictating play, the master conductor. He's just got that ability. Because Zinchenko's not here, he's just dictating the pace of the game, picking Newcastle apart, and they just can't handle it. And as soon as they press him himself being press resistant, he's just moving the ball along so quickly. They're attacking from the right, through the channels in the midfield, and from the left. And you remember, before Christmas, Arsenal were too one-dimensional, going to Saka on that right-hand side over and over and over again. And today, you look at the style of play with Arsenal, and it just can hurt you so many different ways. Havertz has been brilliant through the middle. Absolutely cannot ask anything more from him. He's your get out of jail card free when you're in trouble and you're looking to play a route one ball. He's on the end of everything. He's running down every ball that's going into the final third. Arsenal, 123 passes into the final third. Newcastle, just 5. Alexander Isak's been off with that groin injury, and you've got to feel for him because he ain't getting a sniff of the ball today. Newcastle, just 5 touches and passes into the final third. It shows you, though, how Arsenal have been dominating teams and holding them without a shot in 2024, really. And this is just on the menu again and again and again. They're just hunting like a pack of wolves. And even though Arsenal are 2-0 up, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could even be 5. And they're not even finished yet. If you look at the bench over the last 2 or 3 games, full of academy players. Today, Jesus is back, Fabio Vieira's back. You've just got a loaded bench with players who want to come in and just add to what's been going on today. It's been brilliant. Talking about the goals, Gabriel's goal again is another set piece. 16 set pieces for Arsenal. Just to put context on that, the team in second place to Arsenal only has 9. That's how far ahead the Gunners are in terms of set pieces. And then the second goal, the movement from Kai Havertz. And the passing with Odegaard, Saka, it's just brilliant stuff to watch, guys. I'm being spoilt here today. I mean, right now, the game could get ugly in the second half if they come out with fire in their bellies, and Newcastle now are being more progressive in their play. All that's going to do is open up more holes at the back. But this is all by design. This is Arteta ball at its best, guys. Speak to you at full time. Well, there you have it, guys. Arsenal 4, Newcastle 1. Turned out to be a fantastic game. We were looking for a reaction, and there was your reaction from the Porto game. Just absolute pure control. Really good man management as well. Arsenal's 4-2-4 system working just as it was drawn up to. Complete and utter domination from start to finish. Newcastle came out second half. I thought they was quite strong. They definitely had a plan. Mike Tyson says, you know, boxers, they have a plan when they come into the ring until they get knocked out, and that's probably what happened to them. Arsenal just really put the steel on it. We've always had another gear to go up, and then they did. When Newcastle came at them, they just switched it up. Another set-piece goal, by the way. So what is that? Is that 17 set-piece goals now this season? It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. In fact, when the game started and Arsenal had a corner in the first few minutes, nobody put a man on Ben White. So I was like, okay, obviously they haven't been watching the film. But then, as I said, I think the first one went down as an own goal, so they didn't give it to Gabriel. But the second one went down to Kiwior. So look, man, it's just another sublime performance. Jorginho, at his age, 33, you're resting the player now every few games, so you don't have to play him every game. This was one of the games Jorginho looked fresh. He looked in control. Again, just a puppet master at the end of everything, really, and at the beginning of every attack, really. And then the players just flow through it. They're free to express themselves, and the movement of everything is just dictated by Jorginho. And I just thought that was fantastic for us today. Subs were made at 75 minutes. A whole plethora of players came on. Arteta managing just the way that everybody said he should. So right now, guys, clicking on all fire. Next game is Sheffield United, and I don't think that there's any issues there. We did say, though, Arsenal's going to have to go unbeaten all the way up until that Man City game, and Man City in that time have got to play United and Liverpool. So really, when we go up to the Etihad, for me, that's the title decider. And look, there's still 12 games left, but on this form, Man City ain't going to want to play Arsenal for another 4 goals today. I think the goal difference now is, I think is 39, which means it's a couple more than Liverpool and then Man City. So that's where you have it, guys. Great result tonight, and then we move on. Speak to you guys later.
We made it this far, so I can't complain. Let's take a trip down memory